Hi, everybody. Anthony Fletcher. Thanks for coming to my channel, A Lender's Point of View. Today, we have a real treat for you. So thanks for coming here, first of all. And if you do like this video, please hit that like button wherever it is. And please subscribe. I want to hear from you the different things that you want to see as far as videos and what you want to hear so that we can adjust and create different videos to meet those needs. Today, we have my wife here, Gay.
Hi.
And so she is going to be Elsa Wimples, right?
That's
Elsa
right.
Wimples is coming up here from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. She's buying a house up here, and she's going to go and meet with me today and actually go through the whole process of a pre-approval and going through the application, the credit, the reviewing the loan information, going over the pre-approval, and finally getting the pre-approval letter. And so we're going to cover all of this in probably just about 15 minutes. So let's get started. All right, Elsa, nice to meet you. Thanks for coming today. Sure appreciate it. Finally get to meet you.
Yes, it's very nice to meet you.
Now, if we talked over the phone the other day, we did talk about different programs and things like that and what you were looking about doing, and that you're looking about purchasing a house here in Bend.
Yes.
You sold your house down in Las Vegas. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, great. Have you already received the money from that sale?
Yeah. We closed the end of last month, so I already have.
Okay, so we're in your bank account. Okay, great. And okay, so that's great to hear. What I did is I took the application information that we went over the phone. I created the application. I pulled credit. I ran a decision. So I'm happy to tell you that I have a pre-approval letter ready for you for today.
Great.
So that's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's important for me to make sure that I have almost everything up and ready for you, so you don't have to busy watching me type my fingers on here. Okay. So let's kind of go through your application and make sure I have everything correct. Okay.
All right.
So the overview, so this is what it looks like here. So on you, as far as concerned, we have you as far as Elsa J. Wimples. That's correct. Here's your social security number. This is your date of birth, right?
Yep.
And U.S. citizen, unmarried, okay? This is your correct email address?
Yes.
Home phone number, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And your previous address is 61007 Berry Place, Las Vegas, Nevada.
That's correct.
Right. And you were down there for 7 years. Okay, cool. What'd you used to do while you're down there?
I worked in the Cirque du Soleil.
Did you really?
I did.
Oh, cool. Oh, great. Well, that sounds wonderful. I'd sure like to learn more about that when we have time. Okay, I did pull your credit report here. It shows you that you had credit scores of 781, 799, 793. So 793 is your middle score. All right. And what that represents is that's a score that we use for decision engines, for our decision engine for when we try to get an approval for you. Okay. And what happens is that score, by the way, credit scores go between 350 and 850. So your 793 is pretty much way at the top end of the scale. Anything above 760 is pretty much walking on water, okay? So congratulations. Kind of like Mary Poppins, practically perfect in almost every read. All right, so somehow, okay. So let's kind of look at, kind of want to show you what we look at for rates, okay? I put information into a rate. Now, your banking account is with Wells Fargo, and it looks like for your credit report, that's where your loan was through too, right? Yeah. Okay, so Wells Fargo gives you their one rate. So that's what Wells Fargo does, and banks do. They have their one rate to shop on, okay? And now there's mortgage bankers that have usually their rate, maybe one or two others. As mortgage brokers have, what we have is we have usually 18 to 20 different companies, lenders that we can go to for rates. So what happens here is that when we look at your rate, what happens is that we'll look at 18 different lenders or so. And then when I ran the decision, we have the highest rates on the bottom, okay? And the best rates float to the top. Okay. All right. So as you can see here, based on your scenario here, the current today's rate is 6.875, and you get a little bit of money back. That's $566. That's considered rebate money, basically. You're accepting a higher rate than what the going rate is, and you get a little bit of cash, okay? And that's the closest to what rates are today. Now, if you paid a point, you would get the 6.25. So a point is $5,600, okay? Now, the benefit to paying that point is that the payment goes from 3,679 to 3,448. So that's roughly, oh, it's roughly $230 less a month.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So that's going to save you about $2,800 a year in payments. So you think of it, how long are you planning on keeping this house?
At least 10 years.
So if you're going to keep it for 10 years, the first 2 years it's going to take you to recapture that money because you'll save $5,600 in 2 years. And then every year after, then you'll be saving $2,800 a year versus taking that higher rate.
Okay.
Okay. So if you think of it that way, it's going to probably save you 14 times the amount that you paid for it.
Okay.
So it'll save about 90 grand. So
Right.
it's probably worth it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And what will happen though is that these rates aren't locked in until you go into your actually get an accepted offer.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Who's your realtor?
Darla. Oh, I can't
Darla.
think of her
I
last
know
name.
Darla. I know Darla. I've worked with Darla several times.
Oh.
Darla's a good friend of mine. Anyway, so we will I will talk to Darla, and then what will happen at the end of the day, you'll go back with Darla and go and present the pre-approval letter to her so that what she can do is that she can work for best behalf of you and put your offer in so that you can get an approval.
Okay.
Okay. And once you have the seller accept your offer, then you'll be in a contract, and then we can come back and actually lock the rates.
Okay.
Okay. So that's kind of what, so this is not bad. It's a lot better than what it has been in previous months. Okay, so I just want to go through the rest of your application here. Now, we've got your basic information. Now let's kind of go through your loan application. We'll go to assets and liabilities. It shows you have your bank account here with Wells Fargo. And it also shows you have one credit card with the liabilities of about $6,900. And you'll owe $185 a month on that one. Okay. It shows me that I have in here that there's no other properties you own. Right. And that takes care of that. And then we'll go over to the declarations where I do need to ask you some questions here.
Okay.
I'll make it pretty quick for you. Basically, just need to know that this will be your primary residence.
Yes.
Okay. And you've owned a home before. Okay. In the last 3 years. And it was a primary residence.
Yes.
And also, you owned it just by yourself?
I did.
Okay, great. And are you have any family relationship to this person that's to the seller of this particular house you're looking at buying?
No.
Okay. I'm going to look at that house too real quick. Okay, this is the house, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's a nice house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
It's really pretty.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Yeah, yes, that looks really nice. Okay. So let's kind of go back over here to what we were talking about. Just also the other final questions here is whether or not you've ever had any bankruptcies or foreclosures or subject to a lien that could take priority over the course of this lien that you're bringing on the house. In other words, are you signing up for some sort of household? Have you already signed up for some sort of house modifications or anything like that where they're going to put a lien on the property?
No.
Okay. All right. And then let's see. Are you also applying at this time for a mortgage on another loan for another property at this time?
No.
No. Okay. Just this one.
Just one.
And are you borrowing money from anyone else at the same time for your down payment for this real estate transaction?
No.
Nope. Okay. And let's see. One other question I had. Oh, are you a co-signer with anybody else for another loan?
No.
Okay. Got it. Good. So we got all those answered correctly. And then the demographics, what I do need to ask you are these 3 simple questions. And they're not part of the loan application. They're actually it's by the federal government. What they want is collect this information. You can choose if you do or do not want to answer these questions. The 3 questions are going to be whether or not you're Hispanic or not Hispanic, if you're female, male, or if last one as far as your race. Would you like to answer the 3 questions?
Sure.
Okay. Are you Hispanic, not Hispanic?
Not Hispanic.
Okay, I got that wrong in there. Okay, female or male?
Female.
Got that one right. Okay, and race?
White.
White. Okay, got it. Okay, just for your information too, and just for your information, if the person is actually in front of the loan officer, if you choose not to answer those questions, they are required by law to answer those questions by their viewing looking at you as an individual. So they're going to have to make their own answers, the loan officer is, if you don't give them the answer based off of visual observations. That's what I meant to say. Okay, so that concludes that application process. So now what we've done, we've kind of talked about the rates, okay? And now let's kind of now I'm going to run the decision engine, okay? And I did this already. And this means that I've ran the decision engine and we've already got an approve eligible response for Fannie Mae.
Okay.
So that means congratulations, Fannie Mae likes this loan. And they're saying, we're right now, based off the scenario in the application, we like the information. We're going to do this loan. So congratulations.
Yay. Okay.
All right. So they'll have a list of conditions. And basically what we have here is the documentation that we have. Okay. And some of the documentation that we have, we'll go in that in just a second here. But some of the information that we do have is I need to see your investment paperwork. So just hand me some of that. Oh, there it is. Good. Okay. And this is a letter from your mortgage, your money manager, saying that you're receiving $9,000 a month and $7,600 is your take home out of that. Good. Now your bank statements. Great. Okay, the bank statements are from last 2 months of bank statements and they're full, all pages it looks like.
Yep.
Good job on that.
Thank you.
And then that is what? That's from the sale of your house?
Yes.
Okay. And so this is right here. This is a HUD settlement, a seller's closing statement, and it shows you netting $241,000. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And then you have your
tax statements.
Tax statements. You were saying you might have some other little income in here. And what I'll do is I'll look at this other income. If it makes sense that we need to use it, we'll use it.
Okay.
If we don't need it, I'll just hand you these back.
Okay.
So I'll make some copies of these things and get them back to you. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Now, just kind of let's go over the final information here. We've gone over the approval information. And now what I just want to kind of go over with you is what the worksheet is, okay? And a worksheet basically is the cost, a quick 1 page of the cost of what's going to be.
Okay.
All right. So what this is that this is a short page of everything that's going to cost, okay? And this really means nothing. This is no official document, okay?
Okay.
But it does have all the numbers on there. And when you go into an application and once we actually get your offer is accepted, we'll have a bunch of disclosures that will come out to you and all be ready for you to sign, e-sign. After we go through your actual rates and everything like that and lock into a rate. So one of the major ones that you're going to see here is called the loan estimate. Okay. And this kind of goes over the exact same thing that was on the actual worksheet, but it's on official paperwork. So this is the official government one. So it shows you the sales price is $700,000, conventional loan, 30-year fixed rate loan. Okay. Interest rate 6.25, monthly principal and interest 34.48. All right. There's no prepayment penalty. There's no balloon payment on this loan. So it's a straight vanilla 30-year fixed rate loan.
Right. Okay.
Principal interest 34.48, and then you have escrows for your taxes and insurance. It's $372. So the taxes is based off what I looked at the property. The insurance portion is basically you're just going to need to go out and talk to your insurance agent, Allstate, State Farm, whoever it is, then get me the information and get a quote from them. And then what we'll do is we'll use that quote to get your insurance set up.
Okay.
Okay. So that number I'm just throwing in for $60 a month right now, or $600 a year. All right. So I say that these are being escrowed in. So then what will happen is your total closing costs are $12,194. Okay. And that will go over as far as the closing costs and also to include that, what we call that discount point to buy that rate down that we were talking about.
You're right.
We'll go over that. So page 1 is a summary of page 2. So this is the actual meat and potatoes. It says your origination charges are $67.60. $5,600 is the points to buy down a rate. And the origination fee charged by the lender is $11.60. Okay. That could change just a little bit depending on what lender we end up using, okay? But not much. The appraisal is estimated to be $750. A credit report is $36. We're going to get a flood map, certification map, $8. And then we're going to, there's a thing called tax service fee, which we're going to monitor the taxes
Okay.
being paid on the property. Now, the next part is what you, the seller usually gets what they call the title insurance and sets up escrow. So your realtor, Darla, and the other realtor will get that coordinated. Okay. And then what will they do is, I expect you to have to pay what they call lender's coverage. Your portion of the title insurance is going to be $543. Okay. And that $543 covers the time from the time you close on the house for 2 months past there, just in case something goes wrong in the closing and there's a lien that the title company forgets about or somebody puts on there. Let's say the previous owner does some work and then they don't pay the contractor for it and they slap a lien on it. This title insurance covers you so that you don't have to pay for it. Okay. And then the escrow settlement fee, $850. And then there's a little of endorsements and an e-recording fee or whatever. Okay, then you have recording fees from the county at $350. There's your taxes of $600. And then we have what they call the initial escrow payment. Okay. And what that escrow payment is we're going to put money into an impound account for you. So and then each and every month, you're going to be making a payment. Part of your payment will go into that impound account for your property taxes and your insurance. Okay. When those come due, the county is going to send the lender the bill, and then the lender is going to pay it out of that fund.
Okay.
Same thing with your insurance. Okay. So this is the breakdown again, showing 152 set 154 that you'll need to bring in. Okay. Now, this last page here just shows you that if you keep the loan out for 5 years, you'll pay $216,000 in total payments, and $37,000 will be principal paid down. Okay. There's the interest rate APR again, and if you keep this loan out for the full time, you'll pay 121% of the total loan amount in the form of interest. Okay. That's a big number, but you can always refinance as rates come down, and so that can make a change. And if you ever decide to pay down the loan, there's what they call a recast. And then what you can do is you can just pay this thing down, contact the lender, pay it down, and they'll recast the loan amortization schedule again. So you'll change your payment based off the new loan amount, the same interest rate, and the remainder of the term.
Okay.
All right. So I put all this information in. And do you have any questions for me at this point?
Not at this point.
Okay.
We'll get the offer in and see where we land.
Great. Well, here's the pre-approval letter. It basically just says you're pre-approved. Okay. And it's pre-approved for Fannie Mae for a conventional loan, $700,000, loan amount $560, 20% down. And it's subject to appraisal, title, clean title, and updated asset documentation and final underwriter approval. Okay.
All right.
So it's as clean as you can get until after we received the offer has been received and signed off by both parties and sent it to the underwriter. And then once the underwriter receives that, then they'll give what they call the full conditional approval. Okay. There you go. Thanks so much for coming today. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, there you go, everybody. That's what the pre-approval interview kind of looks like. Thanks for coming to my channel. We'll see you again next time. Bye now.